With AI right now, anyone can be a coder to an extent. I've been using a lot of different AI tools, playing around with them, and doing coding of my own. I'm not even a coder. I'm what you would call kind of a guy who's done everything but coding over his career. But with AI the last few years, all these different tools have really emerged onto the scene from helping you to do uh, graphic design, like designs of images, producing videos, of course, producing a lot of written content and a lot of those things. But where AI has really taken off, especially in the last year or so, has been with these AI coding tools. And there's so many of them that are just emerging on the scenes. If you're like me, I'm on Twitter quite a bit, or X, whatever you'd like to call it now. And if you go out there, you just see these little trends pop up. It'll be like, oh, Lovable is the best tool in the world. And then you'll have a whole big pack over here that'll be like, oh my God, you got to check out Replit. Replit is so good. Or you'd be like, oh, no, no, it's Windsurf. And then this week, you found out about, well, actually in the last week or so, you find out about OpenAI releasing Codex. And the only reason that I know about it is because I'm sitting out there and I'm looking for machine learning engineers and I'm connecting with people for some of my clients at Active with AI. I'm in recruiting and I see Codex, Codex, Codex. It just keeps popping up. And so I look into it. I'm like, well, what's Codex? And sure enough, it's another release by OpenAI. And if you've been paying attention to the landscape of AI recently, there's just so many different tools, so many different products that OpenAI has been releasing, over the last, year or so. They just keep pushing out all sorts of stuff. And if you haven't heard, as a side note, they're also trying to come out with a LinkedIn competitor too. More on that to come later, right? But what I want to do is I want to do a slight little dive into the landscape of these AI tools. I want to show you what my favorite is too. So as I mentioned, Codex is one of the AI coding tools that has really been emerging on the scene recently. And it's been getting an awful lot of attention because it comes from OpenAI, the big powerhouse that most everybody knows about at this point. They have GPT and they have a wide range of other products. And so this is the one that came out within the last 7 to 10 days. Has been getting an awful lot of attention online, and a lot of the technical folks have been really gravitating to this on the AI space. But there's so many of these different tools out here to use. Let me walk through a few here that I like and that should be on your radar. Claude Code is one of the biggest ones and one of the most popular ones that has been used out in the AI communities. It is a major coding platform, really, for coding in AI for about the last year or so. It seems to be one of the most powerful, and there's just so many in the engineering space that have been using it. If you're kind of at that above a novice or beginner level, and you really are more of an engineer or a coder, this one is really for you. This is the one that you would use to really build AI agents more into the agentics space and really build out more advanced things, right? But if you're like me and you want to develop apps, you want to develop websites, you want to develop digital products, the one that I really gravitated to and was turned on to is one called Lovable. There were a couple in the AI engineering community that turned me onto this one. They thought that this is the one that is kind of a more a catch-all for a lot of different things. I've built apps, I've built websites, and I have built digital products inside here, and I've used them for personal things. I've used them for work-related things as well. I've also used them in my candidate outreach as well. I'll get into how I use Lovable in another video, but I will tell you that I kind of use it in a three-pronged approach. I use kind of a three-way mashup, really. I use Lovable, and I come over to GPT when I run into errors, because one of the common things that you will see using AI coding tools is that you'll get errors because you're prompting, you're typing in with natural language. You're using your natural language when you're prompting and you're typing it in, or you're actually speaking it into Lovable or one of these AI coding tools. and they're all imperfect, right? There's always problems that you're going to run into. The problem that you typically run into is that you get errors. Now, most kind of pack up from there and just walk away from it because if you're like me, if you're in recruiting or maybe you're in marketing or sales and you're a non-coder, you're not understanding where the error is coming from or why. And when you try to look into the code, 'cause that's one of the beauties of looking inside Lovable is that you actually can look into the code. So you can kind of take that. I go over to ChatGPT and ask it, hey, ChatGPT, what's going on here? Can you help me to figure this out? I come over into tools like Cursor and I actually use it to help me to develop replacement code. Again, I'll get into more of a detailed video about this later, but I want to give you a sense of if you use more than one, you can get to the desired results that you're looking for. There's also Replit. There's VO. There's Windsurf. There's even a thing called Figma, which a lot of designers are traditionally been using for putting together their graphic designs, digital things, websites, developing applications. And then they would take that and they would have to go somewhere else to do the development or hand that off to somebody else. But now there's such a blurred line where designers can also now become developers. They can use a thing called Figma Make. They do their design and then they start to develop in there, which is really cool. And it goes even further. There's just so many different tools. I'll drop about 10 of them into the section below and some links and things, some helpful pieces for you so that you have that. So my advice to you is to check out some of these AI coding tools. Figure out what works for you and your budget. I think even before that, look at the tools and figure out, hey, what works best for me? What do I want to develop? Because there's different tools that do different things, right? Lovable can do a wide range of things, and then Replit or VO or Windsurf, they do different things from Lovable, right? Some are better at some things versus others. So you find, okay, what's my objective? Like, what's the real thing that I want to try to develop? Is it something, for myself for work to improve a process? Is it something for my team? Is it a side project or a side hustle? Is this something I just want to experiment with? All of them are relatively free to cheap to use. Some offer like packages where you can, do almost unlimited amount of prompting and uses for about $20 a month. That's not bad, right? Drop in a bucket. And then what's the easiest for you to tinker around, to play with, and to get the results that you want? And finally, just know that no one knows everything about all this right now. Not just the AI landscape, but these AI coding tools. Even the folks that are using them that are, kind of engineers and are experts that really know how to use these, really know how to prompt them good. They know about coding and they know what to do once they get in here. Just know that everybody out here is figuring this all out. I'm just figuring it all out, right? And so don't be intimidated by it. Jump in, get in there, mess around with it. Try free first and then jump into a paid tool that may work for you.